A stunning new legal showdown has just erupted in New York. And this time, it is not Donald Trump in the headlines. It is Melania. On October the 15th, 2025, the former First Lady found herself at the center of a high-stakes Supreme Court case after journalist and author Michael Wolff filed a lawsuit against her under New York's anti-SLAPP law, a statute designed to protect reporters from intimidation tactics disguised as defamation claims. The conflict began when Melania's attorney, Alejandro Brito, sent Wolff a demand letter accusing him of defamation. The letter called for a public apology, a full retraction, and warned that failure to comply could bring a billion-dollar lawsuit. At the heart of it were Wolff's statements linking Melania Trump to Jeffrey Epstein's social circle, including claims that Epstein introduced her to Donald Trump through a modeling agency both men were connected to, and that their first meeting took place on Epstein's private plane. The letter described her marriage as a sham trophy marriage and insisted Wolff retract everything. But instead of backing down, Wolff turned the tables. He sued Melania, arguing her threats were not about protecting her reputation. They were about silencing a journalist. His legal filing asserts that Melania's actions violated his First Amendment rights, and he is seeking both damages and a court ruling that his reporting is protected speech. Wolff's lawsuit does not just defend his words, it grants him subpoena power. That means he can now demand evidence, including records, emails, text messages, travel logs, and witness testimony related to Melania Trump, Donald Trump, and Jeffrey Epstein. He says he plans to use that authority immediately, calling witnesses from Epstein's inner circle, people who can describe how the worlds of politics, modeling, and money collided inside Manhattan's elite social scene. For the first time, this could put both Melania and Donald Trump in a position where they must answer questions under oath, questions about how they met, who introduced them, how many events they attended with Epstein, what planes they flew on, and what evidence still exists. It is a serious escalation, and Donald Trump knows exactly what discovery can mean. In past lawsuits, he has either performed poorly in depositions or quietly settled before testimony could happen. But this time the tables have turned. Wolff is not the defendant, he is the plaintiff. He is pushing forward, effectively saying, "You wanted to silence me, then let's go on record under oath." For Trump, the Epstein connection has always been a shadow that refuses to fade. Despite his attempts to steer the news cycle, the Epstein story always comes back, a symbol of how wealth and influence operate above accountability. Epstein knew Trump, helped Trump, and shared access to a network that still holds dark secrets. Now, Melania's legal action has opened that door again. Meanwhile, the political backdrop is just as volatile. The United States government is partially shut down as Trump's congressional allies fight to block the release of sealed Epstein files, hundreds of pages of evidence that could expose names and connections across political lines. One Democratic lawmaker from Arizona, Adalita Grijalva, reportedly holds the key 218th signature needed to release those files, a single vote that could change everything. Wolff has made it clear he did not want this fight, but felt someone had to take it on. In recent interviews, he said the chill on free expression in today's media climate is obvious and disgraceful. He described a world where journalists are paralyzed not by facts, but by fear. Fear of being sued, fear of being targeted. It is not about what you said, he explained. It is about what you are not allowed to say. That is why this case matters far beyond the Trumps. If Melania wins, it could send a message that the wealthy and powerful can use billion-dollar threats to muzzle the press. But if Wolff wins, it reinforces that truth still matters, and that even the most famous family in America can be held accountable. It is also clear Donald Trump is involved behind the scenes. He publicly supported Melania's legal move, even letting her use his own legal team, the same attorneys who have handled his repeated lawsuits against the media. It is the same strategy, the same players. But now, the risk is even greater. This case could lead straight into the long-hidden Epstein files, a topic Trump has never been able to bury. Adding to the irony, the Trumps have long claimed to champion free speech whenever it suits them, railing against social media censorship, while quietly using billion-dollar legal threats to silence journalists. Critics call it hypocrisy, a kind of authoritarianism wrapped in glamour. Even more telling is how major media outlets have reacted. Many have stayed silent. Some are being sued by the same law firm representing Melania, and others simply do not want to touch the controversy. That silence, Wolf argues, proves his point. That power does not just buy influence, it buys fear. So here we are again, the Trumps in the headlines, the courts as the battleground, and the truth fighting for air. If Melania wants to defend herself, she will have to face discovery. If she wants to prove innocence, she will have to hand over the documents. And if she wants to silence Wolf, she will have to explain why these questions make her so afraid. This case will not just decide one lawsuit. It will test whether free speech still means something in America, or whether wealth and intimidation have already rewritten the rules. And no matter how it ends, it will mark the moment when a former First Lady was forced to confront one of the darkest scandals of her husband's world, under oath and in the full light of the law.